Beat the concrete chronicles, my secret origins honest. Every hustle's first appearance, putting paper on the harness. Got a super villain plot twist for the crooked politicians. Me and my crew are heroes on a whole different mission. They see the flashy jewels, that's just a secret identity. My real superpower is surviving this.
Welcome to Secret Identities. We're your hosts, the Tenacious T-Dub, and I am your Savvy Savage Jody. We are here to bring you news, reviews, discussion, maybe a few laughs about everything in the comics, TV, movie, and media landscape. How you doing tonight, T-Dub?
I'm doing great.
I slayed that.
How you doing, man?
Slayed it.
First take, man. You've been practicing.
I know. No, I have not been practicing. I just learned how to read.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all here. Learning how to read. That crossing education, boy, it comes back on you. 30 years later. That's it. Been anxious all day to get to this show. Saw the Supergirl movie. You saw it before me as usual. You saw it first. I saw it first. But that's what you saw. And you told me and I saw it. And we're going to get into it. Spoiler, non-spoiler, and spoiler like we do.
We're going to have We're going to have a little bit of news, a little bit of talk. We're going to do a non-spoiler superhero, and then we're going to break the episode. And because people, by popular demand, the spoiler review will be in a separate episode of the stream. So that way, if you want to avoid spoilers, you can just not press play on that episode, and all will be well in the world. It also keeps the episode linked down to a less unwieldy, almost 3 hours like it was last time we did a movie review.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, some of our viewers have said they had to spread it out across a couple of days according to their schedule. You know who you are, and we thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Lack of commitment. You could stay up a little late at night, spend a little less time on your hair. We know who you're talking to.
Yeah, oh yeah. That'll get them. Yeah. So those sleepless nights, boy, I tell you.
Yeah. You could be totally curling to us in the gym. We know you hit the gym every morning, dude. So you could have your secret identities in and just be like, yeah.
Pumping iron. Ooh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's coming out looking jacked.
We'll tell some of the pro wrestling stories we have from the conventions.
Oh yeah.
We got some funny stuff in store for you guys someday when we tell that. We're probably going to do an all convention episode to tell you some of those stories.
Yeah, and a wrestling episode. I wouldn't be talking about when we were heavy into it, back in the 80s.
I mean, I was very young when I was heavily into it. So you might want a podcast guest host to like surf with you on that episode. So
I got a couple in mind.
Any takers out there, email Secret Identities contact, and that'll be later in the show. And you might be the lucky guest star of Telly's wrestling episode.
Yeah, be awesome. As far as comic book news this week, a lot of sporadic stuff just all over the spectrum for the genre. Everything from comics to animation, movies and shows coming, to some news about castings for the comic book movies that we all love. So I'll head up with actually tomorrow X-Men 97 debuts. That's season 2 of X-Men 97, the big hit reboot that's on Disney app, Disney Plus. Debuts at 3 a.m. tonight. For those of you that can't wait, they want to stay up late, like one of our fans we were talking about before, you got one of those sleepless nights where you can't get your hair right and you want to watch some cartoons, turn into the Disney app, hail, and check out X-Men 97 season 2. Now, this season only has 9 episodes, and they're supposed to be dropping 3 tonight or in the morning at 3 a.m. Eastern time, 12 Pacific, for those guys out on the West Coast. they are, the whole season is themed to be around apocalypse. Yeah, we'll be discussing the first 3 episodes that drop tonight in an upcoming episode, and kind of spotlight some things that went on last season. So uh, if you guys like what you see or don't like what you see, please feel free to comment, and we'll definitely address that in a coming episode. But I'm pretty excited. I love that X-Men theme song when it hits. I think that falls into probably some unwritten top 10 cartoon theme songs of all time. What do you think about that, Jody?
Ooh, well, I don't know. It's no Wildcats.
uh, man, I knew you were going to say that. And Wildcats in comparison to X-Men, some of our viewers that followed Image Comics in their debut with their titles, they know who Wildcats are. There's a lot of people that don't know. It was a Jim Lee creation. Jim Lee is the guy that drew X-Men, was a big part of the way they look now today. He's one of the prominent artists in the 90s that drew X-Men and written alongside with Chris Claremont. And a lot of the X-Men 97 stuff was based around the character designs. So he had a creator-owned imprint, Image Comics, and Wildcats was his team of superheroes, covert action team. And it had one of the most outlandish 90s theme songs that when it hit.
I'll put it right here.
Right there. And,
it's down there for you. Down for you. Down. Come on, man.
Yeah, down. Always forget. Peace up, A-Town down. I always forget that.
Over here.
Yeah, that Wildcats theme was pretty out there. Now the X-Men one is pretty. It's catchy.
I think it's catchy. It's catchy. Yeah. It's very memorable. But I feel like it was low rent. I think that when they chose it, we remember it as the X-Men thing. But in my opinion, it is not. It was not chosen. He's like, yeah, that's it. That's the sound for X-Men.
Well, recently, I think it was a squabble about the rights because they sampled some song or band that the beat comes from.
Yeah, in my opinion, like the X-Men theme from the animated is kind of like a weird alt synth pop thing with a lot of synthesizer, and that just doesn't scream dudes living in a school in upstate New York with mutant powers to me. I think it could have been something else. I think that. I think if it was.
Dude, I think for one of the things that people don't know about cartoons, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no,
coming
you're good.
from an
You're
artist's point of view, when they got the orchestras playing this music to put with these cartoons, the orchestra is watching the footage, so they have to kind of fit what they're playing to go along. Yeah, I'm sorry, but they start playing some library or school type music when they're in the school. That ain't gonna work, buddy. You needed something that if you're doing your chores on Saturday morning and you got the TV on, you got the vacuum on, you want to hear that cartoon that you don't want to miss is coming on.
Okay,
and what better way to do it than that synthesized?
I disagree. I think give me a heavy guitar riff like the Wonder Woman guitar riff from the Justice League movies, or give me something. Give me something like post-industrial, like Nine Inch Nails would be like something in the vein of Nine Inch Nails would be a great theme song for the X-Men because it's.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
That's not it. That's not it. No, just. No. I mean, so just synth pop just does not make sense. Honestly, I mean, it's not far from theremin. So if you're gonna do a theme to like a cartoon with like synth pop or theremin, in my opinion, it would be Fantastic Four because it's such a tech based thing, but like I'm sorry, it's not the timeless thing. It's timeless because we remember it being timeless. It's got the member berries attached to it, but I do not think when it was chosen, it was like, oh yeah, this is the one. They're like, just use that one. We got a little bit of it.
It was.
We could.
It was just like He-Man. It was. When you heard it, you know. That was good. That was good. They didn't say that one. No.
I think they did. That. Not only did they say that, they were like, "Oh, that's that one. We didn't even make the whole song, so it'll be a short intro. So just use that little piece right there. Just use that little piece right there." And that was just. It's probably a song they ripped off from Duran.
Who were they going to use? Kool and the Gang to do the theme song? No.
I mean,
a little bit of Jodeci. No, Jody. No.
I'm telling you. I can't
agree with you.
Something post-industrial. Maybe something a little techno, little maybe Rob Zombie. Come on, man.
Some dubstep? No.
Not dubstep. Techno.
No.
Techno. Not dubstep. Techno.
No. Sorry, I can't say what that music goes to on this show because it's a family show, but nada. Another great top 10 theme song of all time, Thundercats. Right at the top. Possibly top 2. Thundercats. When it gets the animation matched it perfectly. The hype for the song, when they're running and the little cat emblem is spearing across the galaxy. Oh yeah. That was it. Silverhawks wasn't bad either, even though it was the same makers. I'm sure this will open up a can of worms, but the G.I. Joe theme song, I'm sure you were there in your little Flint hat, beret, and your little vest, and you were in your
little baby Duke fan club sweatshirt.
Certainly. Oh yeah. And some of the viewers out there, we're gonna do a little poll here. It'll catch you there, Jinxie Poo. You know, with the opposable thumbs, the action figures with the opposable thumbs. You see what I'm getting at? New Meet the Parents movie coming this fall. Be sure you're there for that. But that's what I was referencing. But to get back to that, G.I. Joe theme song was doable. It's pretty good. And when they added the Cobra Law to it, that was even better. But yeah, no Flint fans over here, buddy. Duke is way better than Flint. I'm gonna keep that going.
Yeah, I'm sure, and I would say of all of the G.I. Joe, Duke is probably the one that's most likely to try to give you a poll.
Hey, just because he sat back and let everybody do the fighting for him, don't get mad at him because he figured out a smart way for his guys to not get hit by lasers that Cobra couldn't shoot correctly.
Do we have to play the game again? We're going to play a game from the lost episode, guys. I'm going to look up the backgrounds of 2 separate G.I. Joe, and you get to tell me which one's the coolest one without me naming which one it is. You want to play that game, Telly? You remember how this ends? How this ends?
Yeah, I remember it was fabricated. I remember how it was.
It wasn't fabricated.
No one can read what you have on the screen. You can read what you want, Jody. You're not putting that in.
Hey, I do the AV stuff for this episode. I can screen cap it and put it up, actually.
Yeah, I'm calling kayfabe.
Hang on. All right, let's see here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen. Let me see.
For those of you know, I'll give you a background on this. Jody believes that Flint was a better character and soldier than Duke.
Let's let the moment breathe.
Parade and did nothing.
Let's let the moment breathe, and right. I'll read the card, and then you can tell me which one is the coolest soldier, right? Okay. As a military man, one of them speaks to me as a soldier more than the other. So, okay. He is a skilled polyglot, being fluent in English, French, German, as well as several Southeast Asian languages. He was the top of his class at Fort Benning, attended Army Special Language School, because sticks and stones, won't hurt you, but language, on the other hand. He's undergone Special Forces training and worked along South Vietnamese tribesmen. I'm sure they make delicious dinner. He was an instructor to 4 different special forces schools. I'm sure some of them have menus. Despite his accomplishments, he has repeatedly turned down any officer commissions to him. He believes that a commander's place is with his troops, not behind the battle lines. Because somebody's got to order him dinner, right? So, let me see.
Wow.
Let's see. All right, now I'm going to read the second one. Oh, let's see here. The second one. Chief Warrant Officer. He's a Rhodes Scholar, a degree in English Literature. He graduated Top Honors Airborne School, Ranger School, Special Forces School, and Flight Warrant Officer School. Master Tactician. He oversaw several strategically important rescue missions. Because of his credentials, he was brought onto the G.I. Joe team. He's often regarded as G.I. Joe's team's rugged warrant officer. So, based on first paragraphs alone, one of them can order you dinner in several languages, and one of them actually kicks ass. Guess who's who?
Terrible. Terrible comparison. We'll let the fans answer that one. I already know who's better.
Spoilers. Duke is really good at talking in other languages.
Like I said, if he's the more educated, more decorated soldier, why not have everybody? He gets every member of G.I. Joe's buy-in because he's a great and excellent leader. He didn't have to be arrogant like Flint is. Oh, I've got Lady J. I've got chemistry with Lady J. Who cares? Duke had Scarlet. So, I rest my case. We'll let the fans decide on that one. And then you got to bring in General Hawk, Sergeant Slaughter, all of the rest of the people. So, they weren't even the best G.I. Joe, in my eyes. But we'll see, and we'll continue. We'll desk this and continue this conversation a little bit more because I definitely want to get into that G.I. Joe movie and the cartoon series and a lot of other things that we could cover. Just the '80s one because those other.
Oh, you're talking about the cartoon? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, those live action ones. I don't even want to waste people's time with those.
Sometimes it's fun to do the bad ones, dude. We got to do the bad ones too. We're going to do. Yeah. I'm going to get him to do a retro review of the bad ones. We're going to have a laugh tearing those movies apart.
Channing Tatum, that one where he jumps out and he goes, "Drive it like you stole it." I said, "What was that?" That was the worst line, and it was so out of place. It was like someone purposely cut that line and added it back in without him knowing. Because it was the timing. If you rewatch that movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know I saw the first G.I. Joe movie, but I can't remember most of it.
And then wasn't Bruce Willis General Hawk? I think, or was he just Joe?
I think that's Retaliation. I think that's the second one. I think Bruce Willis. Yeah, was in the second one.
Yeah, he was. I think he was like.
I didn't hear him speaking any foreign languages, so he couldn't have been Duke.
You got that right. Crazy.
Duke was out ordering the popcorn.
Yeah. He was out messing with Lady J when Flint wasn't looking. That's what it was. He's a ladies' man. She said, "How many languages do you speak?" Yeah.
I don't know. I'm more of a Scarlet fan.
Yeah. I know why. Yeah, I do know. Moving on. Did you know that in the next issue of Batman next month, they'll be replacing Alfred with a female butler for Bruce Wayne?
I thought Alfred's been dead for a while.
Yeah, he's been dead for about almost 3 years in the Batman comics. They're replacing him with a female whose last name is Pennyworth, but they have not released how she's related to Alfred. Yes, they're keeping that under wraps to her debut next month. So that will be going on in the Batman comics. Issue 11 drops tomorrow. Issue 12 is the debut of, we'll just call her Mrs. Pennyworth for now, and find out what her backstory is. And I haven't seen, Matt Fraction is pretty good with putting a lot of story drops or secret things for further storylines. So we'll be seeing what that comes out to be in the comics. Her name is Verity Pennyworth.
I have a feeling I think she's actually been in other stuff. I think I remember. I think I remember Alfred sending his daughter correspondence in something I read, or maybe it was in an Elseworlds thing. I think it's a mistake to kill Alfred, but you know, it's until next time, until they do a status quo reset. I think that.
You know who killed Alfred in the comics?
I'm going to say cutting Social Security. No. I would say let's go with the Joker.
It was Bane in the City of Bane storyline. He simply just knocked on the door and snapped his neck.
I gotta tell you, I cannot stand the character of Bane. I cannot stand the character of Bane.
Why is that?
Character of Bane is dumb as... Okay. After the death of Superman, DC was like, man, that sold a lot of comics. We should do that with Batman too. And they were like, oh, yeah, we should kill Batman. But who's going to do it? And they sat around and they thought, well, Batman's a detective, and all of his villains are not formidable villains. They're very thoughtful villains. You know, they're brain benders. You know, Joker and Riddler and Cluemaster and all these other things. I said, so who should get to break Batman? And Chuck Dixon had written this weird off the wall story with Bane a few years before, and they were like, well, that guy is more than a physical match for Batman, and nobody can outthink Batman, so maybe we should just have somebody outmaneuver Batman as a big, muscular guy. And of course, Bane himself couldn't outthink Batman. He could out-muscle him, but he couldn't outthink him, so he had to tire Batman out by releasing everybody from Arkham Asylum, making him put everybody back in jail for an entire month without sleep, and then sneak up on him and broke his back. Yet, somehow this became to comics that this dude is like somehow this jumped up cool villain. He's a dude in a luchador mask on heroin who sneaks up and breaks people's back. It's just like there's nothing cool about this character. And then Christopher Nolan got a hold of him and turned him into damn Horatio or something with his weird ass accent. The dude he comes from a Hispanic prison. The Bane voice in Dark Knight Rises is damn ridiculous for the character. So to find out that they gave this character
born in the darkness,
it's just like, yeah, like what the hell, man? Like, put this character away. He's not cool. Stop trying to make Bane happen. Like,
they made him happen.
Nobody's gonna buy wife beaters and luchador masks so they can be Bane. Trust me.
That's funny that you said that because I found an old Comic-Con photo of me at a comic convention. I think it was Baltimore Comic-Con, and I'm posing with a guy with a Bane costume on, and the guy's like 5'5", and I towered over, so it made it look like it was. I mean, AI wasn't out back then, but it looked like somebody definitely did something to that photo. And I remember I was a lot. That was when I was a lot bigger in those days, and somebody said somebody took your Bane costume. It's a pretty funny picture. If I show it to you, I know you would laugh at it. But
It's
yeah,
just it's nobody's favorite villain, and
no, somebody's favorite villain, just like the Supergirl villain is somebody's favorite villain somewhere.
do you think Condiment King is somebody's favorite villain?
They made a figure out of him.
Kite Master, and then
They made a figure out of him.
I mean, they made a figure out of a lot of things. I
Definitely.
it's just they're trying so hard to have Bane happen. They're trying so hard, and now they're doing this animated Bane Deathstroke story.
I thought that was a live action movie.
I saw that it was an animated as recent as a week ago. So maybe it's both. I don't know. But when your claim to fame is, I snuck up on that dude and I broke his back when he was tired, or, I totally killed his old man that brought him tea, you're not a cool character. It's like, Bane's super diabolical. He'll sneak up on you and give you a wedgie, or he'll kill your old man. Keep working out, dude.
Yeah, really.
So the whole reason that Bane got the job to break Bruce's back in Nightfall is because they felt that it would be iniquity to allow any of Batman's rogues to actually do it. So they chose this one-off character. But somehow people believe that cemented him as like legend status to be like,
I don't know. I read something disturbing. The Bane and Deathstroke movie is in development in DC Studios. Is planned as a live action project. It's been in development since 2024, with recent reports indicating it's a priority for the studio as of last month. But where I get to, where they have the front runner for the director, is Greg Mottola, who did Superbad and Peacemaker. What? What's funny about a Deathstroke and Bane movie?
You got a point there, but at the same time, that movie is just going to be such a blah. It has to have something funny to it. It has to, because I just see Deathstroke as this character is going to like polish his sword and speak in small, short sentences. You know, I am the man.
A bunch of one-liners, yeah.
And then Bane is just going to be like, no.
I don't know where this movie is going. Like, why? And Batman has to be in this movie, I guess.
Bane's going to be like, are you talking about me? Because I'll just come over there and kill your old man. Like...
It's starting to dawn on me when you point out those two obvious things. What is the plot of this movie going to be? Because who are they going after? Nightwing, Robin, Batman, one of Batman's kids? Like,
I think neither. Probably. I think the story is probably going to be not a team up movie. I'm willing to bet that Slade Wilson is going to be on mission to take out Bane, because Bane is actually, he's a crime lord, but he's also kind of the de facto ruler of the island of Santa Prisca, because his crime family is kind of pervaded so deeply into the government, so he kind of calls the shots there. So I'm willing to bet that it's going to be like an assassination mission between Deathstroke trying to take out Bane. Which really... It still jumps up Bane as some kind of tactical genius, and in my experience, he is not. You know, I mean, boo, I killed you, or I'm gonna sneak into your house and kill you when you're half asleep.
Yeah, he just knocked on the door and took out poor Alfred. Like that's insane. That is. That's that I do not know. That it baffles me because they always talk about this is a priority at DCU. This is a priority at DCU. And what I've heard is this Bane Deathstroke, and then a Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd thing. And I'm like, what? Like everybody's getting these movies. It's like they're flipping through issues of Who's Who, which is a great comic book, and they're just picking and choosing what they want to go with.
I think there is a logic to it. I think that the logic is giving variety to the textures of movies, which is what we're going to talk about later in the review. I think the idea is to give the movie universe different feels for each movie, but also highlight characters of different ethnicities, different walks of life, things like that. So,
yeah.
So I think the idea is
I understand it.
Good.
No, I understand it. Like where they're trying to, possibly pull and use, different characters that haven't been used so much, and use them. So I understand that. Is it the right thing? I mean, only time will tell.
Well, I think it's the right thing to give the world more texture. I think it's maybe the wrong choice of characters to give it more texture, but who knows? I mean, like, it's obviously what they're doing because you got the horror movie that is going to be Clayface, and you have the, let's face it, drama coming of age story that was Supergirl, and the fun rompiness of the Superman movie, and then you're going to have the gritty police procedural drama that is the Lanterns show, and so like everything is coming out has got a different texture, and people don't remember this, but Phase 1 of Marvel was supposed to be this exact same thing. They intentionally changed. They intentionally chose their directors because they wanted each one to have a specific feel, to the point where they cast a guy who'd done almost exclusively Shakespeare to do Thor, because Thor was supposed to have that medieval kind of feel to it. So they cast Kenneth Branagh. They took Kenneth Branagh as your director, but around the time that they relieved Edgar Wright from Ant-Man is the time that is when Marvel stole the keys back from all its directors and said, no, we want all these movies to feel the same. And I think we'll get into it later. I think that this is one of the things that's working against Supergirl, because when you go into a Marvel movie, your expectations for superhero films has now been set by this company that's been making this similarly feeling movies over there for almost 2 decades now, and they abandoned them having a different texture, where James Gunn is probably never going to abandon that. He's probably always going to want those movies to have a different texture, to have a different audience, to make the world feel lived in a different way, because at the end of the day, Spider-Man ain't got no business fighting Thanos.
Yeah, that's true.
So those movies should feel different.
Yep, I definitely agree on that one. Definitely do that. What do you think about the rumored casting of Batman?
I saw the guy. I think he looks like a fine enough job. I think that the casting of Batman, having seen him, I'll put a picture right here. I think it's important that he looks like he will mesh well with David Cornsweet Superman. Yep, you got it. You finally got it on the movie on the other side of the screen. I think it's important, but I think overall, it's not that important that you get Batman right, because Batman has been done so many different times. The audience is ready to just press the I believe button on Batman far more than they are on other characters. It's going to be a lot easier to accept a replacement Batman than it will be to accept a replacement Tony Stark.
Yeah. Yeah, that being said, yeah, I mean, I didn't release the name because it's not confirmed yet, but for whatever the case, it's looking like it's rumored that he may cameo in the uh, Superman of Man of Tomorrow, uh, and possibly the Brave and the Bold. That's their Batman. Is what's being said right now. So only time will tell. We'll see what's what, who he is, what he's done, what he's going to be
He has
doing.
done nothing you will know. He's been in one thing on the BBC.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, you won't
Oh,
know him from anything, and he's British, which is
yeah.
funny. Like, what is with all the Brits? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
for some reason, the Brits invade the superhero movies. I actually had something I wanted to talk about.
What's it?
Now, this is not a paid endorsement. I have no financial benefit from bringing this information up. Skybound Entertainment, the imprint for who we usually talk about. Why am I spacing his name? Help me out here, Telly. What's his name?
Who is it?
Skybound Entertainment. What's his name?
Oh, Robert Kirkman.
Robert Kirkman. Man, what the hell? I don't know how his name escaped my mind. This time last year, Skybound Entertainment went initial public offering, which means that they were selling stocks to themselves for the first time to the public. Well, right now, through July 7th, they've opened up stock sales again with a bonus of 10% to anyone buying. I think that this is important, not just if people want to invest in it, which sounds like it's probably a pretty good offer because the stock has increased in value by 2 times since last offering last year, exactly 1 year ago almost. But it also signals that they are ready to expand in a major way. There's only 2 reasons why a company starts looking for investment capital. They want to start expanding, or they want to get a good liquidity pool so they can buy themselves out of the company and leave you holding the paper. I don't believe that that's what's happening with Skybound. So I think that there's a discussion about a live action Invincible film.
Yeah.
There is the completion of the Invincible animated series. You've got the Skybound licensing going on in the comics. You also have an animated version of the Energon universe that's supposed to come to animated, which is going to tie all those licenses together all over again. Then you have the acquisition of those gold key characters we spoke about on episode 2. So, like, there's some big moves happening with this company. So, like, it's really cool to, like, see the gears turning behind so you know that they're really going to do some stuff. And it's also, if you chose to invest, remember, I have no money in the game and anything like that, but you can invest. I think it's just search for Invest Skybound, and I think it's the July 7th cutoff to get the 10% bonus to stocks. Jared is actually talking about.
There was an ad on Facebook and Instagram for it.
I've seen.
Only
reason I don't want to share it is because I don't want it to seem like we've got skin in the game. We're not going to financially benefit from it. So
no.
If you want it, email me and I'll send you links to the stuff. But it's easy enough to just do Google search. I have no benefit to it. Jared's talking about investing in it, but I think it's very cool, and I expect good things out of him because, I mean, not only has this guy got some bangers between The Walking Dead and Invincible and what he's got going on with Energon, he's got good business sense too, because this is the guy who saved Image.
Yeah.
So he's got good.
Very, very passionate about those guys and the work that they did.
Yeah, he's got good business acumen.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the high ups at the company now, along with McFarlane and stuff like that now. So, he's definitely making some big moves. It's looking pretty good.
Whoa.
Oh, you playing Wildcats?
Wildcats. I will put that. Oh, was that? No, that wasn't the episode. Did I answer? No, I did not answer your question. Actually, I don't want to throw it back to that. You were asking me what about a more iconic theme song. You gave me a couple, but you didn't. I didn't give you any.
No, that's all right. There was something else I was going to talk about in terms of. I found something weird today. Remember we were talking about all the stuff that came out of the animation festival from last week, where DC, Warner Brothers, and Disney were talking about all the projects they're working on. Remember the project called Dynamic Duo?
Mm-hmm.
That's got Robin and Superboy, but it's supposed to be like adult versions of them.
I don't think that's Robin and Superboy. I thought Dynamic Duo is the one where Red Hood and Nightwing actually go head to head.
Oh yeah, I think that's the one. But it's supposed to be done in some sort of puppetry animation.
I heard it's a mix of animation styles similar to Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse. That it's going to be a mixture of puppetry.
Yeah, a mixture of. But what I was getting at is that they put a job ad out on Instagram today where they're looking for people to hire. And I was shocked by that because I was like, wow, they're looking for people to work for them. I'll send you the ad so you can check it out. But yeah, they're looking for artists, writers, and things of that sort to work on the project and possibly other things.
Interesting.
I just thought I thought that was kind of interesting. So
I thought we'd already seen animation from this. How are they looking for writers?
No, it's no animation from it. It was just a screen that says DC.
Now, what am I thinking of? I've never seen animation from the thing I'm talking about. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If I find something on, I'll put it up right there. But from what Shelly's saying, I won't find it. So it might stay blank. I feel like I'm in the intro to the Brady Bunch every time I throw it to one of those blank squares.
It just says DC Dynamic Duo, and then they were talking about that.
No, I think Dynamic Duo is one of the ones that's supposed to be going to Amazon Direct.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting that they're going to be that they were advertising for work or people to work with them. So check that out.
Yeah, they are showing animation too. It will release in theaters June 30th, 2028.
Yeah.
But they say they're going to make Red Hood the villain for that, which I think that I don't know if I love that, but I don't think we need to step Red Hood back all the way to villainhood. But there's so many Robins in the Batman family, and so many of them feel the same except for Red Hood. So I kind of feel like Red Hood's at a weird place. So they should have either left him as a villain or let him be the vigilante that he wants to be. But this constantly yanking him back and forth between he does this thing that Batman doesn't want him to do, but Batman still loves him. Like he needs to cross the line and stay across the line. He needs to either be a part of the family or be out of the family. And I think it would be really cool to just see him standing alone and just being his own hero and F Batman.
Yeah, I think you could tell some interesting stories if he just had a run like he was.
No, Red Hood and the Outlaws was a good comic book, honestly. I really enjoyed that comic. It was short-lived, but, Roy Harper, and I think Starfire was a weird get for that. But, at one point, they even had Bizarro, so it was just a really cool comic.
That was the second iteration with Bizarro, and I wanted to say it was Supergirl was in there too or something.
I don't remember that. I remember Supergirl going Red Lantern at that time.
Yeah, it was like I think it was part of Rebirth or something, or right before it.
It's probably right before Rebirth. Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been really interesting.
But that was still Kenneth Rockford art. It looked amazing. Oh,
maybe
that was Brett Booth.
He did one issue.
Okay.
He only did one issue. Yeah. I want to say Ken Lashley.
Well, he only did the covers. He never did interiors.
Yeah, I forget who it was that did it, but yeah, I do remember those issues. I think
anyway, solid book. In fact, I was floored the first time I saw Rockford do that book. Like, he used gutter space like Asians use the white space in their paintings. It's just like it's so interesting. Like, if you look at old like Taoist paintings where you see like the foliage, but then between the foliage there's the white space. They left that white space on purpose because they felt like you couldn't actually capture nature, so they left the white space in to represent God. And I kind of feel like I got that weird like feeling from his artwork. He would have like Red Hood like literally flipping through the gutter of the page from one panel to the next panel. I was like, dude, this guy's awesome. Who is this guy? And it turns out I'd seen him before years ago.
Yeah, he's something else. Amazing artist. That's all I had on the comic news side of things. It's tomorrow's the first of the month again. I swear, July already, dude. Heat waves are coming.
Hard to believe. One whole month.
Yep.
Spider-Man. As of tomorrow, 1 whole month away.
Yep. Spider-Man and San Diego Comic-Con the week before. So a lot of stuff happening in July. I got a local show. July 11th and 12th, Fredericksburg Comic-Con. For any of you people in the DC DMV area.
What the hell? I'll put a flyer up for it right there if I can find something. So you can look it up.
Yep. Check it out.
Remember, if you want to contact us, you can reach us by email. secretidentitiesmedia@gmail.com. contact@secret-identities.com. Or on any of our socials, secret_identities_media on Instagram, sec_ident_media on X Twitter, secret_identities_pod on TikTok, or just search Secret Identities on Facebook. You can find links for these in the show notes wherever you found us, on the title card at the end of the show, or just scan the QR code on your screen for our link tree.
On the horizon here, we got this review to get going to. Supergirl.
You ready to do the non-spoiler review? Now, I tell you,
ready to do the non-spoiler.
I was gonna do a little segment before because watching this movie, something came up as far as Supergirl's weakness, and I was like, that is a little murky for people that don't really know how Supergirl and Superman's weaknesses work. So I was like, oh, which is what inspired me to have the idea that I did. I did not prepare though because it was such an afterthought, and I've been busy with other things. I was gonna do a funny list of all of the different kinds of kryptonite that have appeared in Superman and what their purposes were, and there's some funny ones. There's some funny ones like pink kryptonite and what pink kryptonite does.
Oh wow! Yeah, I remember some of the stuff that used to happen to Clark in Smallville.
I mean, I could go online and find a listicle. We could laugh along with it, but I really feel like it's something I should do my homework for. So
yeah,
I don't want to steal.
We can do it on a future episode.
Yeah, I'll do it on a future episode. But suffice to say, they used Supergirl's weakness in this movie in an unexpected source, an unexpected source for her weakness. In green radiation, not specifically from. I'll leave that comment for the. There's a comment that comes along with that. I'll leave that for the spoiler review. But all right, so Supergirl debuted last week. I saw it early screening, and it went to general audiences on Friday. To I would say middling reviews, but the reviews have actually been abominable. It has fluctuated in the just over mid 50s on audience score, on reviewer score on Rotten Tomatoes. The viewer scores are a little bit more positive at hovering around 75 to 78%, not quite making 80, and with a mix of opinions as to why this movie does or does not work. And I think you're probably going to find your hosts have a similar mix of opinions about this movie. So, T-Dub, what do you think about Supergirl in your non-spoiler trailer review?
What do I think? In no way trying to bash this movie to a genre that I love and adore. This one was a tough one because I went in trying to clear my head from all the posts and the videos that I had been seeing in the past week. We talk about the Snyderverse movies and how those were heavily criticized. I never saw a movie that wasn't already part of a trilogy or a string of movies. This one was viewed to me as like just a solo entry of a different direction that was a supporting character of a main movie franchise started that you started. And I just said, what did she do to everybody to deserve all this? And I remember thinking, I mean, this movie can't be that bad. I mean, the critics, I mean, they do the non-spoiler and spoiler reviews, they do the casual fans and the heavy comic geek nerd reviews, all the different ways that you can interpret how you felt about a movie. And holding our feelings so passionately, I just didn't think it was a great movie. I think they left a lot of room where they could have went in a lot of different directions and told an overall better story. I think the action, which was probably the best part of this movie, could have been paced better. It could have been structuralized where it had a better common goal or a lasting effect on the character or characters that it's going to interact with in the coming movies. There was no innuendo, no Easter eggs, but that's part of a spot. You can edit that out. I thought all the actors, minus a few, played a role really well. I think Millie Alcock did a really good job portraying what she was asked to do. I thought Jason Momoa did a fantabulous job as Lobo. But I got a couple of quips about that as well. As nothing, put it this way, there was no amounts of pieces of perfection in this movie. Not as many as was in the Guns movie, where he captured moments, he empathized with the fans, with the characters. He made you have the feels about you saw a Superman movie. I didn't feel like I saw anything super in this movie, and feeling the way that this core of characters or this family of characters is supposed to make you feel, give you hope, spirit, finding good in everyone. All that got thrown out of the window. Uh, I can't criticize James Gunn because I've only seen one movie that he directed and one that he oversaw that he thought was good enough to make the second movie. So I need to see a lot more. His Guardians of the Galaxy movies were awesome. They were great. They were funny. They were everything that these movies weren't. So, not getting into spoilers, I won't even give a rating right now.
Come on, give us something. Give it out of 10. Come on, give us out of 10. You gotta give a rating out of 10.
All right, out of 10, 4.
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah.
Well,
and I'll explain every reason why.
I guess it's my turn for a non-spoiler review. As we discussed earlier in the podcast, I think that we have been trained to expect certain things out of superhero movies. So I think this movie suffers from our expectations, number one. Now, that's not an apology for it. This movie has plenty of problems. But I think one of its biggest problems is this is not a summer blockbuster movie. In fact, this is barely a superhero movie. This is a coming-of-age, heart-wrenching girl drama wearing a poorly fitted cape. Where this movie, you hear criticisms about its villain, but the villain of the movie isn't the Mad Max dude in the movie. It's a more emotional struggle that Kara herself is going through. And I think that is not obvious to people anymore because they go into superhero movies expecting one thing and they get another. I think that although there's a lot of action in this movie, the director, I'm not going to say he's a poor director because I don't have the skills to evaluate cinematography, but I think he made choices that came off more annoying than informative because there is action, but there's a lot of action with obstruction where you can see what's happening, but you're kind of like leaning, like, why's that thing in my way? And at first I thought it was because Millie Alcock probably wasn't good at her combat training and they were trying to just hide, fake the funk. But as the movie went on, I kind of realized, oh, no, this is a choice. And it opens up more and more as the movie goes on until nearer the conclusion of the movie, you have more widescreen, brighter colors, things that you'd expect from a superhero movie. So the cinematography seems to intentionally be a metamorphosis of its own. I don't know that I could say that was very effective. So also not great for the movie. But I think the amount of hate this movie gets is completely uncalled for. I think that history is going to owe it an apology. Mark my words, you will be surfing Facebook in a few months and you'll see the words James Gunn bomb Supergirl box office trash finds second life on streaming. You're going to find out that this thing's a banger and it's getting a lot of positive reviews because once the level set is reestablished and this movie is where it's at as far as expectations are supposed to be and people are walking into it without baggage, they're going to watch it on the small screen and they're going to go, oh, I had a lot more substance than I thought I was going to get out of a superhero movie. And I think that that's the thing that a lot of people are missing. Now, it's not their fault. It's not their fault that DC marketed this the way they did. It's not their fault that they moved this so early in their cycle of films that it had expectations falling on it directly from Superman. But like I said in the weeks past, I feel like this movie was Iron Man 3, and it did not prove me wrong. It was exactly what I expected it to be. It was intentionally supposed to be a more personal, more cerebral, I'm going through stuff as a person and you're going to watch me go through it movie. Not a let's punch that dude in the face because he did a bad thing. So if I had to give it a number review, I would say 6.5. So, I mean, it's still not a good score. It's not a great score because anything below 70, you're barely getting by in school. If anybody knows that, it's this guy right here.
So you say later on in life, but again, I think they have to learn the lessons that they get, not from the critics. Critics
I don't believe
can
that's
say
true,
what
Jeff.
they want. I just think I mean, if you're anybody trying to reinvigorate a universe, comic writer for comic books, director for movies, coaches for
I don't agree with
football
that.
teams. I just think it was too much bad stuff in this movie to make it great. I think I can't say up and side down. I'm right with you when I wanted to be good, but I just can't.
I feel like when you say bad stuff, you say bad stuff because you walked in and you wanted Black Panther, or you walked in and you wanted this or that or whatever. But I feel like as a movie, it was a movie. It had its 3-act structure. It had its hero's journey. It had all those things. Did it hit the emotional beats you wanted it to? No. Did it check the boxes of big dumb action that we expect from a superhero movie? No, it did not. But in my opinion, it was never trying to, and that's why the marketing failed this movie. The whole we have to have another big superhero thing, let's shove something out front, is what really murdered this movie. Because honestly, Telly, if this was something else, if this was not Supergirl, would you have seen this movie? Did you see the Scarlett Johansson movie that came out after Avengers, where it was supposed to make or break whether she got a Black Widow movie? You know, the one where she somehow got like infected with some weird alien symbiote virus and became a god. And like, this is a female-led movie, which historically don't do as well as male-led movies. It's a female superhero movie, which historically don't do as well as other female-led movies. So, like, there's a good chance that a lot of the comics fans that would be automatic sales for this movie weren't going to show up for it anyways because they didn't like it. And then you put on top of that the neckbeards that are, like, literally hacking Rotten Tomatoes to put in negative because it's all this Ethan Van Sciver culture wars BS about, oh, well, Gamergate or whatever, or Comicsgate. Why are they pushing this feminist garbage on us? You got Fox weighing in saying that you should boycott this movie because Millie Alcock said that in her opinion Supergirl is probably bisexual. So it's like, it's got all this shit, excuse my language, sorry, it's got all this stuff piled on top of this movie that was never about the movie. So like we're judging it because we walked in thinking, oh, we like Superman, I want to see more of that. But they never told us we were going to get that. But they gave you a movie about a girl that's going through something that just happens to be Superman's cousin. And spoilers, I went to see it with my son, and after the movie, he said, that's probably the best superhero movie I've seen in a long time. I almost fell out the car on the interstate, Telly, because I did not like it that much. I just told you my review. That review shocked me, and he said, and it might be recency bias, And that shocked me even more because I was like, my son knows what recency bias is. But if you didn't like something, you still wouldn't have recency bias for it. So I think on some levels, this movie is speaking to another generation that isn't us. And that's fine too. So we weren't its intended audience. So us liking it doesn't make or break whether this movie did what it was supposed to do effectively. So our opinions are our opinions and they're valid. But that doesn't mean it was wrong. That just means we didn't like it. And people need to get used to that because everybody wants to sell the story about how this movie sucked, was terrible, was an abomination, and is going to derail James Gunn's career. Peter Safran's like, it's all good. He don't care. He was a part of the development of this movie. He knew what this movie was. So I'm telling you, this movie is going to find its audience, and it's going to be angsty teenagers that didn't see it in the movie because who the hell goes to movies? Old people go to movies. Movies are going to die. We talked about this at Masters of the Universe, about how movie theaters are going to die. The people that are supposed to be watching this movie were not buying tickets for this movie. So it's going to find life, and somebody's going to love it. People like Robert Pattinson's Batman. I don't. Wait till you see my review on that. Worse than Supergirl.
I don't know.
Mine is. Yours don't have to be.
No, it might not be. Yeah, I mean, I think they were both bad, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
But Robert Pattinson's Batman was bad and boring, and it had a lot of movies that it could have taken notes from to prove that it was good. You can't say that about Supergirl. Supergirl had one movie that was barely a Supergirl story. 45 years.
But you have the I mean, just like that, you have the Superman mythos to carry that on and take different pieces of that. You don't want
Supergirl to be Superman. You want Supergirl to be Supergirl.
But at least do some heroic things. She didn't do anything.
I don't know. I don't think that's
true. She didn't do anything in that movie.
I don't think
like it just she
I don't think that's true, Telly. We can't go any deeper than that because we're not in the spoiler part of the episode. But you got
about a couple minutes to convince me that
I don't need to convince you, Telly, because we're allowed to have separate opinions. But she did plenty of things that were heroic, but she did them in a disaffected way, like she didn't care and she wasn't intending to be heroic.
Maybe that's where it is because I've seen it before. I just couldn't relate to. I understand that she was going through. I can't relate to she wanted to drink. I have a good time, and then she's pouring all over the movie.
Telly, that's one thing because you're not a drinker, you might not understand. Nothing that she was doing in that movie was about having a good time. She wasn't drinking because she was having a great time. She was punishing herself because she hated life because of what she'd been through, and she's got some dark trauma crap. Like her being who she was and like taking it to the dome and like living her wild life wasn't about partying. It was about distracting herself and anesthetizing herself against this horrible pain because she had to watch as her whole family and everything she knew about life was dying. So, like, spoilers, their planet blew up. I'm not spoiling anything for you. So, like,
not at all.
Yeah. So it's not. It was never about her partying. It was about her self-destructive behavior because she wanted to be dead too, essentially.
Mm.
I mean, but I think it's going to find its audience. I really think that somebody is going to turn this over on Netflix and they're going to go, "This is a banger," and I don't think it's a good. And now, sad thing is I think that at the end of the day, we as adults, we like superheroes because we experienced them as a kid, but we want those heroes to grow up with us, and we want them to be tough as nails and do all the best fighting and do all the mean stuff that we want to do as adults because what we would do with superpowers. And unfortunately, that was, in my opinion, the biggest problem with Zack Snyder's universe, was that every character was that I grew up with this character, but now I'm going to give you a grown-up version of what this character is. And we're not going to sell comics and sell superheroes to kids if that's the stories we make. We need to make stories that are accessible for kids. This is not one of those stories. This is a dark, messed up story about a 20-something that's drinking herself into a coma, is really messed up in life, and has no intention of changing it until something happens to change her opinion. And you're not going to show this to a kid as an inspiring story, even if there is a turn at the end. So I think that this falls into a very dark trap. I don't think it falls into as dark a trap as the last showing we saw from Supergirl in the Snyder Universe. But
that was non-existent. That I had totally, until we talked about that earlier, I had totally forgot that she even been casted. I really, when I looked at that movie, I didn't even pay attention to any of her lines or what she even did. I couldn't even tell you what she did in that movie. It was so forgettable. That doesn't. I don't even count who that was. What she had no intro like that. That made no sense. She just popped up and then, oh, there she is. I was like, what is this?
In a rush to get a universe, like I said. So like Kelly and I have two very different scores, but our criticisms are on the same thing. But I do think that our problem with this movie, and I think our problem with all of the James Gunn movies, is going to constantly be that everyone wants to grade them on a scale established by Marvel films. And the Marvel bros be like, yeah, because they're good films. Gotta tell you, Marvel bros, Marvel films are not good films. They are not good films. If you look at them from a structural standpoint, as a beginning, middle, end, 3-act structure, I told you a story standpoint, they are not good films. They're meandering trash piles with heroes that you want to see, so you press the I believe button and love it. It's more like watching a string of 1950 serials stapled together, shown to you on a big screen, and then they send you home waiting for the next installment. Because Marvel movies are commercials for other films. For the most part, they do not stand as an art piece, an actual film like you would submit to an Oscar. And that's why they never get considered for an Oscar. They're not being slighted. They're not being slighted because they're not Oscar-worthy films. The only time they ever get nominated is for special effects because they don't even attempt to make a real film at Marvel. Now, DC, all they want to do is make real films. They make real films about the Joker that's outside of canon with Joaquin Phoenix. They make real Batman films by Christopher Nolan that are trying so hard to get an Oscar or some other award that they don't bother making the movies about Batman, the character. And I think that the good thing that you're getting out of Gunn's movies is he's being loyal to the characters, or he's seeing to it the movies are loyal to the characters' origins. But I think you're still going to get more complete movies out of them. Whether that's what you want or not, I don't know.
Trying to find that niche in between, I guess.
Well, I just think that
pull something from nothing.
I think we as fans need to be more accepting of things that do not look like the thing we already have. Now, that doesn't mean we need to accept trash when it's trash. And this movie has a lot of problems. But if they came out with a movie tomorrow, say about... Well, I know for a fact they're going to do one. They're doing that scot-free Mr. Miracle animated, right?
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Miracle. Is it Mr. Miracle? Miracle? Yeah, Mr. Miracle, right? That's right.
Mr.
I always get
Miracle,
Mr. Miracle and Miracle Man confused. For good reason. They're connected. But they're going to do that based on Tom King's story that he did circa, 2021, 2022. And there's a lot going on with that story if they adapt it faithfully that is not your typical superhero thing. So if they really are doing that as an animated, people are going to watch that and go, "Ooh, what is this?" You know, when I think back on the Max, you ever see the Max animated, Kelly?
Yeah, yeah.
As a comic fan of the Max, I always wanted Max to be Sam Keith's Weapon X or Sam Keith's Wolverine. But that's never what it was intended to be. But when you get to the end, you find out what that story is actually about. You find out what the Max is really about. Like, holy cow, that's a powerful story. So, does it make it less valid that they told a real story with a character that you thought was going to punch people in the face? It didn't punch people so much. I think that it's just as valid, and we need to start accepting things like that, because I think Gunn is going to try to do that. You know, he's intentionally trying to break the genre walls between the things that we have been getting and the things that he's going to give us. You know, that's why you're going to get a body horror version of a Clayface movie. You know, who would ask for that when they're trying to build a Justice League? But when all you're trying to do is build a Justice League, you're going to cut corners and you're going to tell stories that don't need to be told. But when you're trying to fill out a universe with interesting characters, then you tell the stories the way they need to be told. You know,
that's true.
Somebody could have come to Rocky and said, think about it. You and I, we both love Rocky. Rocky 4 is a totally different film than Rocky 1.
Yeah.
Because in Rocky 4, Rocky Balboa is an action figure. But in Rocky 1, that's an emotional story. It's a beautiful story about an underdog who has to go through everything when the odds are stacked against him and he still wins. And I feel like those are the kind of stories that are missing from comics. We have these tiny notions of emotional beats. We have these tiny ideas that the characters are growing. We never really see real emotion. We never see real growth. And I think that's the kind of thing that they were probably trying for with Supergirl. I just don't think they succeeded with it. And there's another example.
That's a good example, because that made me just think of how there wasn't any growth into her character. Because to me, the way the story progressed, and this, I'm not going to get into detail yet.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt you. I think I might be creeping too close to the sun on spoilers, so don't stand on my shoulders too much.
yeah. Just all I'll say is that some of the scenes seemed out of sequence. It didn't progress forward. It was like they were going up. We got to go backwards. Going backwards. Now we're going, and then you didn't see that growth.
Another movie popped into my mind as I was making the Rambo comparison. I mean, while I was making the Rocky comparison, but Rambo. If you look at First Blood, the First Blood movie, that is a powerful movie about what happens when America abandons its veterans and how the veterans were treated when they came back to this country. Rocky Balboa, the First Blood is about a maladjusted veteran in a system that took no care about him and didn't treat him well. Treated him like trash when he came back despite his sacrifices, and he snaps. But then Rambo 2 comes out. They forget that the movies were called First Blood. He just goes, oh, let's Rambo 2, and he turned him into an action hero. Rambo 2, Rambo 3, these are like weirdly technicolor action films compared to this really emotionally driven. You know, there's a scene in First Blood where he's like literally telling the story about how his best friend got blown apart in Vietnam. He's looking for pieces of him. Yet in the next movie, all they're focusing on is whether or not he can use a minigun that he's yanking off of the helicopter. So it's like, I just kind of feel like that's a good example of what I think is happening with comics. Is it? Can you hear that?
Yeah. So
sorry out there, guys.
You need to use your webs and stop that Spider-Man villain.
so yeah, I think that's a pretty clear. I think that they were going for Rocky.
Yeah.
But they didn't get there. So I feel
Did
like.
you know they're doing a Rambo prequel?
I do, and you know what? In Sly, I trust. If you told me I was going to say that years ago, I would have been like, "What the hell?" But I think As a filmmaker, Sylvester Stallone's got a pretty damn good head on his shoulders. Now, his ego and the cocaine got the best of him in some of the late 80s and the early 90s. I'll give you that. But I think as a full-fledged adult, I think he makes pretty good product. He doesn't make trash, no matter what Seth Rogen says.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Seth Rogen came out in the last week and said that Sylvester Stallone had no good movies except for Demolition Man and like one other movie. And Seth Rogen, I mean, I wouldn't trust the opinion of a guy who's claimed to fame he smokes lots of weed. So, I mean, it's just like screw you, Seth Rogen.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I definitely want to get to the spoiler talk because we got some stuff to unpack.
Yep.
Because it's hard to talk about this movie without talking about the things that happened. That's where I'm at with it. It's just like, okay, I got a lot of questions, I got a lot of stuff to discuss, and maybe we can get to the bottom of what was holding this movie back.
Well,
because it ain't a difference. It's not like you scored it at a 9 and I scored it at 2. We did 4 and 6. So
yeah, I think below the 50% mark is kind of scathing, Telly, but I can't change your review. I mean, your review is your review, but I just kind of I'm approaching it from a more, you knew what you wanted and you knew you didn't get it. I'm approaching it from a more rational perspective and saying, what were they trying to do here? Did they do what they were trying to do? And I think the lower scores are judging it not on what it was supposed to be, but what they wanted it to be. But that's okay. It's okay to want things. It's okay to want things, especially when it's marketed to be that. If they didn't market, I mean, you look at the trailers of this movie. You got the Blondie needle drop. Okay, this isn't a spoiler to say. If you like the Blondie needle drop, you better put it on repeat because you're not going to get another good one in this movie.
You can always check us out on Patreon, where we post each episode and updates so you always know what is going on with the show. If you like the show and you want to help us keep the lights on while you are there, you can become patron. For as low as $2 a month, you can become a league member, and that will give you access to exclusive pre-show and post-show content each week, as well as the retro movie reviews. Or for just a little bit more, at $5 a month, you can become a Power League member, getting pre-show, post-show, retro reviews, a discount code for our merch store, and a producer credit in each and every episode. That's patreon.com/secret identities. Put it in your search bar, look for it in the show notes, or find it with the rest of our links with our Linktree QR code.
Oh, thank you. Special thanks to Hazy Eyed Girl, our Patreon Power User of the Month. 5th week in a row. Thank you, Hazy Eyed Girl. This movie is just... And the energy, the fun of that Blondie needle drop, you'll find almost nowhere in this movie. This movie is a very heavy movie. You're watching somebody go through something. So I feel like this is another example where the trailers that they show you are just unfair because they set your expectations to be something that they're just not going to be.
That's true.
I would like to see somebody do. And have you ever seen an honest trailer where people reshoot trailers? I think I would like to see an honest trailer of Supergirl. I would like to see an honest trailer done of Supergirl. See what people would do, because I don't know. I don't know who would do the music for an honest trailer for Supergirl. Maybe Leonard Cohen, something real dark and broody. I don't know.
That's true.
So, what do we have going on next week, Telly?
Next week we are going to be talking about X-Men animated series, X-Men 97. They debuted season 1 last year, and all the hype surrounding it. The big showing on Disney Plus, talking about the X-Men cartoon when it was originally on in 1997. a lot of the X-Men lore, how it relates to comics, what they use, what they didn't use. And then we're going to get into the first 3 episodes of season 2 that actually dropped tonight at 3 a.m. So Jody and I will be all on top of checking out those 3 episodes. And actually, I will probably be watching with a mutual friend as promised. And I will let you know the results of that.
A mutual friend. Very
cryptic. Yeah, you guys let us know what you thought of the first season of X-Men 97. Who were your favorite episodes and characters from the first season and the original season that actually came on in the 90s? For those of you who don't know, all those episodes are on Disney Plus app. And we'd love to hear about those in the comments. I know I got a bunch of X-Men favorites from the comics and the cartoon and how they related. So I'm anxious to hear about you guys.
Yeah, if you got a favorite thing from the original series that you wanted us to talk about, you got something to say about the new series, let us know. You can hit us up on our socials, on our emails and contacts. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to make it a part of the show.
I can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear some of the favorite characters, especially even if it is Morph. Let us know.
I knew it was going to happen. It was going to happen. I was going to put it right here. Morph.
Yeah, that's it, right there. So, yeah, I already know one of our views. This one's for you, Morph. So, yeah,
this is one thing that bothered me about the... Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Did you watched the X-Men 97 last year, when it released?
Yeah.
I think it was a little over a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they kind of imply that Morph was sexually attracted to Wolverine?
Yeah, they did put that in there, which was weird.
That's a weird one. I mean, like, I get it. Like,
that almost seemed like a shot at the old.
I have no problem with being inclusive in media, but I feel like when you put these new contexts on these existing relationships, you make things a little weird. It kind of messes with what the thing is supposed to be. I have no problem introducing a new character, but if they try to retroactively apply this stuff to a show that already existed. So it makes the old show have these weird moments that out of context are like, what? It's like, so Wolverine pining over the loss of his friend, which is like a big character beat for the character in the movie, in the original series, now looks a little weird in the context of this new kind of like more emotional, if not sexual, relationship that is at least desired by Morph. It's just kind of strange choice for me.
Yeah, definitely a strange one. I had totally forgot about that till you said something.
I had forgotten about it too until I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. I remember when I said the Morph thing. I was like, wait, wasn't there a weird Morph thing? And I'm not saying to have an other than straight lifestyle is a weird thing. But it is weird when you put it in context of a show that was a show when we were kids. We like to retroactively put weird adult context to things where they never belong. And I think this is just another one where it just goes wrong. And I do it for fun sometimes. Our Patreon patron, which we'll plug right here. I tell her an alternate version of the Winnie the Pooh story that she did not like very much.
That's hilarious.
But I think it's a weird thing to, and superhero media is very guilty of this. They're constantly thinking, we want to be inclusive, so let's retroactively include something, but instead of making a new character, instead of making a new thing, they just plaster the change they want to make on an old thing. And it's upsetting when that thing is somebody else's thing. It's because somebody's a Duke fan, right? You know, somebody's got to be a Duke fan. So when you find out
somebody
that he's using all of those special languages of his at the bathhouse instead of in the field with the GI Joe, then it might upset you a little bit. But
yeah, that's a good one.
But
That's funny.
it's been fun. We're gonna move on to do our spoiler filled review, and thank you for coming visit with us. And we would love to hear you talk back some of anything you think that we were wrong about. Amazing Fantasy 15.
Oh yeah. Oh, you got that. That's funny.
I kind of knew what it was at the time, but the point is, it doesn't matter. The point is, it does not matter. It's like, we live in the internet age. I don't need to remember that. You need to remember that because you're diving through back issue bins. I'm not going to dive through back issue bins. I dive through money bins like Scrooge.
Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a diver. No, it's like,
yeah. I am not out hunting for keys. I don't know. I'm kind of disaffected to it. I just it's cool to have one, but I understand I understand the goal, but for me, the stories are the most important thing. The collector value is a secondary thing, and my life is simpler without having to buy all the extra stuff. So, oh hey, I don't know who wants to hear this, but DC Infinite offers several different packages of comics, digital comics. You can read them on your any computer, tablet, smartphone, what have you. I currently got a subscription for DC Infinite. Again, not an ad. I'm not making any money off of this. I'm just telling you it's out there. If you're curious about getting back into comics on a very affordable price, you can read anything by DC Comics that was printed greater than 1 month ago for the low price of $12.99 a month. Or if you don't want to pay at all, you can log on there and they have offers of free books in a rotating selection. So if you just want to see what's going on or you have some time to pass when you're at the doctor's office, you can check that out for free at dcinfinite.com, I guess. I'll put in a link right there. But yeah, it's very affordable considering I used to spend like $150 a week on comics, and I don't have any place to put that stuff anymore. So it's very cool to be able to have a lot of stuff for such a low price and not have to worry about where I'm going to put it. But time for a spoiler review. See you guys next week. And I would put
your identity secret.
I would put the X-Men theme here, but we get copyright strikes, so I can't do that.
Oh yeah, that's it.
All right, guys. Bye. Thank you.
Right. Thanks again for joining us. If you like what you saw, give us a like. If you didn't, let us know how we can do better. If you know someone else who might like us, please share. Help us boost the signal. For audio only, they can find us on Spotify by searching for Secret Identities Podcast. Or for full video, tell them they can find us on YouTube at Secret Identities Pod. And of course, every episode is free to listen on Patreon at www.patreon.com/secretidentities. We also share clips of the show occasionally on Instagram at secret_identities_media or on TikTok at secret_identities_pod. Be sure to check out those socials. Drop us a like, give us a follow, turn on notifications. That way you will always be updated so you never miss an episode. Can look out for our streaming schedule or just see some of the news and funnies that we share throughout the week. And don't forget to please follow us or subscribe wherever you are listening from.